Hi, I'm Max. I'm the creative behind Eat the Rich Art. I use he, him, and they, them pronouns, and I have a market tomorrow that's looking like it could be one of my biggest events of the year. So I've got stuff to do. I've got a lot to do because I've just got back, like literally yesterday afternoon from a holiday because I made the fantastic decision to go away the week before this event and I didn't have everything finished before I went. And also I've crocheted while I'm away, which means I have things to do in that regard as well. So come and join me on the process of doing a one-day cram for a market. The things we have to do today is I need to sort my suitcase out because I have yarn and half-finished plushies in there because I didn't take any stuffing with me. And I also didn't take all of my eye sizes, so I do have a plushie that needs eyes putting into it before I can stuff it. So that's task one, is sort the suitcase out. I need to weigh the yarn that I brought back with me so I can work out how much yarn I've used in different plushies. Then I need to finish the plushies that I started while I was away. So that's two tasks, right, to do with the suitcase. Then after we've done the suitcase, I need to go through these bags of everything I made before I went, and tag them with my new, I have a new toy. I have a tagging gun now, so I'm not having to go through with a crochet hook and individually tie pieces of string to things because that takes bloody ages. Easy, in and out, tagged, done. We are also finally moving on to the new tags that I bought. So we're going to use some of those. And once I'm done with all of the tagging, I need to pack my market rucksack. So I need to take everything out of there that I took on holiday with me because that's also my holiday rucksack. And refill it with the things that I'll need for the market. Then I need to pack my market bags. And during all of that, I also need to sort my cat's litter tray out and do all of the laundry that was associated with going away. So I've already taken all of my dirty clothes out of my suitcase. Don't worry, the crochet was kept in a separate part to the dirty clothes, right? But yeah, I need to be making sure that gets sorted because my hoodie that I like to wear to markets because it's nice and thick is in that pile because it's also a very good flying hoodie. And yeah, there's a few other bits that need washing that I could do with tomorrow, so that's going to be during the process. So if you see me like get up and go away at any point during the time lapses, it's because I'm sorting other things out in between tasks. So yeah, I've just realised I set myself up nicely. I've got my suitcase next to me, I've got my tea and my biscuits to eat while I'm sorting things out. I've got my bags and everything next to me. I've not grabbed the weighing scales for the yarn, so I'm gonna go grab those. And then I'll be back to chat about my lovely holiday while I sort my suitcase out because that's going to be quite nice to talk about, I think. Step one. I'll be back in a sec. Right, we're back and we've got a new angle. Ignore any mess. Just ignore it for me. Thank you. So, I've done this facing you. I should have done it facing me. Hang on. Right, weighing scales grabbed. The biggest thing I need is my iPad. It's in here somewhere. iPad. Okay. Right, we have some flip-flops. I forgot they were in here. They go by the back door because they're the garden shoes usually. Books. I finished the Taskmaster book and the Hunger Games while I was away, and I'm working on the newest Percy Jackson book, The Triple Goddess, because I got that for my birthday, so I'm really loving that, working through that. Pop these back on the bookshelf. Books are back on the bookshelf. It was really nice to read while I was away. I've been in a bit of a reading slump because I'm like sort of in the mood of if I can crochet, why wouldn't I when I'm at home? Because I've got all of my supplies, so I'm like, I feel guilty for putting it down to read. unless my wrists hurt, and then by that point I'm usually tired. So I think I need to start just mapping out an hour of each day that is just actually for reading, and get back to it, because I really do enjoy it when I'm doing it. I mean, the fact I finished 2 and a bit books in 4 days when I've not read since the 1st of February shows that. My waterproof, which I didn't need to take, so I'll put that back in the cupboard in a bit, but for now it's going over there. Then we have the things I made while I was away. I made the vast majority of a Perry the Platypus. I need to tack his tail back up because I didn't leave myself enough yarn to actually sew it on. His beak's already sewn on, and then I'd made his hat, and his feet are just tucked inside the hat because I didn't want to lose them. So I need to sew him together and give him some eyes. But I usually embroider the eyes on after I've stuffed him so that I can see that they're sitting right, so that's why I didn't do that. And the feet also have to go on once he's been stuffed, same with the hat, so that's as far as I could get with Perry. So because I did Perry, we have brown, teal and orange to weigh, which I'll do in a second. Let me show you what else I've made first. Then the other things I did, I made some bees, so I have 4 bees to stuff and add key rings to. They're going to go in the vending machine because the vending machine only has 9 keychains in it at the minute and it can hold 10. And then obviously if I sell any, I need to stock that back up. So the other thing I need to do today is I need to check what's in the vending machine when I pack the bag and make sure I've got photos of all of it, because I've lost some of the photos. So I need to print some more and laminate them and get them back on the vending machine, because people have been like getting skulls and things and I've not got a photo of the skulls, and then they've been a bit confused. So I need to make sure that's actually sorted out and find out a better way to store the photos, because the way I did it last time obviously didn't work. So bees. And then the final thing that I made was another one of the Celestial Homebodies moon keepers, because I'm going to make it into an Easter bunny, because I just love it as a rabbit pattern as well. So the head's finished. It's got a marker where the nose needs to go, and then I've accidentally frogged a little bit of the body, but the body is also finished with a little tail to sew the head on. We have arms, and then ears. For the ears I've done brown and pink on the inside and then cream to match the rabbit. I also need to make the carrot to go with him because he's going to be holding a carrot instead of a moon. I don't know if I'll give it horns yet. I think I might just leave it as a rabbit, but that needs sewing. The eyes need putting on it. This is the one that I was talking about that I didn't take big enough eyes with me. It needs 25s, so I need to do that. The face embroidery I need to do, and then I'm also going to try and embroider a little egg on its belly, I think. So that will probably be the biggest finishing job to do. So I've got yarn to weigh for that as well. I finished the brown, so I can just write the amount of brown that I used. And then I also took some white and red. I didn't end up using it, so that doesn't need weighing, but the black and white does need weighing because I used that for the bees. So let's pop these back on the shelf and then we'll weigh the rest of it. Right, most of this is parfait, so we will do the parfait first because that's all together in a chunk. So ballet pink is this one. Gonna need to get my fiance to rewind a lot of my balls for me because they've got a bit messy, but I'll see, because he's busy with his uni things, so I'll wait until he's not busy with his uni things and then ask him to clean the yarn shelf up for me. 39 grams of that remaining, which means that we used 21 grams on the ears of the Celestial Bunny. Oh, it's gone down to 38. 22 grams ballet pink. Then the tan colour, where's it gone? Ballet pink. Knock that down to 38 grams remaining. And that is all of the weighing done. So I'm not going to put all of this away just yet because I do still have things to finish and sort out. I might put away the colours that I know I'm not going to use. So the teal and the pink. No, I'll probably use the pink. Nah, won't bother. I'll just finish things and then put yarn away. So I'm going to put you on time-lapse mode while I do that. And then we'll get on to tagging once I have finished plushies. So I will see you very shortly. Right, we're back. We have a finished bunny. I decided in the end to give it a belly patch as well because there was a few gaps that I just couldn't quite sew up. Nowhere else has gaps on the bunny, it was just the belly. So I thought, right, stick a patch on, cover it up, it's fine. Then the other thing I've made is a little carrot. I'm not particularly happy with the carrot's positioning, but I can't bother to redo it. But it just looked so cute, a little Easter bunny there. And then the next thing was I finished the Perry. Simple, easy, sewing bits on. The rust when I was sewing the hat on was just so like sheddy and clumpy and ended up with so many like just string, no fluff on that. It's a bit of a bastard, but we're done. And then we have 4 bees that are stuffed, finished and keychained. So they can all now go in the stock spreadsheet and also into the bag for tagging. And then we will get on with the tagging, I guess. Yeah, I have a few things I need to decide prices for because they're new to the table for this market. That's mostly these things in this bag. So I may have to like go and ask my boyfriend. Be like, hey, does this price work for this? Because I don't know how much to charge at all. But we will see what happens with that. And then stick you back on time-lapse mode and then we'll see where we get to. Right, tagging is done. It is bag packing time. And then I can chill for the rest of the day, I think. So I've just heard that my washing machine and my tumble dryer are both finished. So I need to go sort that out. I'm gonna tidy up my little zone here while I do that. As part of the same task. Yeah, then I'm gonna sort my rucksack out and hopefully make it less heavy than it's been the rest of this week. See you shortly. Right, as you can see behind me, that is the bags packed and ready to go when I get picked up later, which means the only thing left for me to do is to run through my stock and tell you what I'm taking. So let's just make sure you're not wonky and we can do that. I'm not taking any of my wearables or acrylic items with me this time. There's just not going to be room on the table. I have so much other stock, so they're not coming with me. Which means the only two accessories I'm taking with me are my felt badges, because any opportunity to sell them is great. I still have quite a few of them. And then my mesh market bag I'm taking with me. I don't know if it'll end up on the table or not, but it's in the bag, so it's just stayed in the bag. As far as fidget toys go, I'm taking 3 bird poppers with me, so that is the pigeon, the mallard and the crow that are left because the chick sold. I'm taking 6 mushroom pops, I'm taking 3 mushroom chick pops, 7 mushroom frog pops, and the reversible octopus. I have 3 fidget snakes left, and that is it for fidget toys. Keychains, I have 3 animal heads, which I think is the pig and 2 cats. Then I have 4 bees, 1 fury dragon, 2 labubus, 1 pumpkin, 2 skulls and 2 whales left. As far as I'm taking with me, obviously I have more bees and whales in the pride colours, but they're not coming to this market. Characters, I have my purple Beemo left, I have 3 demogorgons. I would like to make a couple more today, so that might go up. I have 1 derpy tiger, I have my Karomi, and I have 2 Perry the platypuses. My jumbo plushies, I have 1 Bronto, 2 bunnies, my fruit turtle, my reindeer, my 2 different cats, so that's the sitting kitten and the wizard cat. And then that's it for jumbos. For large plushies, I have 2 dragons, so I have a blue and a purple one, 2 hoodie bears, again blue and purple one, 2 implings, they're both the blush colour, but one has red accents and one has purple accents, and my strawberry bunny. So hopefully it's the strawberry bunny's turn this time, because he works very well for the Easter market. If I have some more time today, I may make a second one, but again, that depends on the demos and if I can get the cleaning done that I need to get done. For medium plushies, we have 1 alien turtle, 1 devil bear, which may not end up on the table for Easter, but we'll see. 5 drift octopuses, 2 ghosts, 1 gremlin, 1 mallard, 1 pig, 1 pumpkin bear, 1 pumpkin toddler, 1 Shiba Inu, and 1 star buddy. So I need to work out how I differentiate between small and medium plushies. I think it's going to end up being that the plushies that aren't big enough to be burnt as part of the UKCA testing will be small, then the really tiny ones are the Pocket Pals, and then anything bigger than that but not quite a large plushie, so the Star Buddy and the Shiba, will be medium. Maybe, we'll find that out. So then Pocket Pals, we have the 1 bear left, the brown bear, we have 2 gummy cats, I believe that's a white and a black one, might be a white and a brown one, can't remember for sure. No, it's black and brown. There we go. There's the 2 cats that I have. I have my 6 happy pills still. I have 3 ladybugs, 4 octos. I think that's 3 black and 1 blue left in the octos. I have my 2 rats, which is the white and grey and the black one. Or is it the white and brown one that I've got left? I think it might be the white and brown one. And then the black one that's been with me for ages. I have 1 turtle left, and that is a black speckled one. And then that will be it for the tiny turtles. I'm not making any more tiny turtles after that unless I make them into keychains. So yeah. Then small plushes. We have 3 Artemis bats, 1 Boo Bear, 4 mini cappies, 2 brown, 1 pink, 1 blue. We have 5 fish, that's a goldfish, 2 black speckled ones, 1 pink one and 1 blue one, I think. We have 2 flower petals. We have the daisy and the sunflower. We have 5 frogs, 3 light green and 2 dark green. We have 1 baby fury dragon, 1 loaf cat, that's the black speckled one. Again, I'm not making loaf cats after that, that's it for the loaf cats. We have 1 loaf elephant, which is the woolly mammoth one. And again, after that, I don't think I'll make any more of those elephants because they take quite a while to sell. We have 2 chunky mushrooms left. I think I have 1 with a butt and 1 without. We have 2 possums left. Need to make some more of those. Then we have 2 pufferfish, 1 pink, 1 blue. 1 pumpkin bat, 6 rock columns, 1 spooder spider, who is pink, I think, and that's got the purple detailing on the butt to make it look like a black widow. And then we have my 1 bright pink squid left. I'm not taking any of my sewn plushies with me, so let's take those off the list. And then I have my stickers, of which I have 50 in total between the Dan, Phil, Youngblood, Gerard Way, Toast Bath and Trans Rights. So that is all of that. Some of this is saying that it doesn't have a reference and I'm not sure why. Let's clear that out and refill the thingy. That's fixed. Is there anything else that's broken? No. Okay, so that means my total items I'm taking with me is 219. Again, that's not counting if I make any demogorgons or extra things tonight. So that might go up over 220. Then my total potential income is £1,439. If I can get that to 1,500 today, that would be nice. So that would be £60 worth of stock, which if I can make 3 demogorgons and a strawberry bunny, that's £60 of stock. So I'm going to try my best to do that. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but that is the goal. Then my total costs, again, I can spread these out a little bit across the next few markets if I need to, but the amount that I would like to make to cover everything I've bought for the business so far this year will be £231.96, which would give me a potential profit, a potential net profit that is, of £1,087.04. Crossing my fingers. Somewhere along the line my calculations have got slightly out of whack, but I'll work that out in a second. And yeah, that is everything I am taking with me. That is all of the stock, and I'm gonna go so that I can get some lunch, finish the cleaning and get working on those demogorgons. Also because my phone's about to die and I need to charge it. So I will see you tomorrow for a look at how my table is. And this is the setup for today. I kind of wish I had a few more big plushies because we're looking a little empty. I wasn't expecting to have the whole stall to myself, but sadly my poor mum is ill, so here we are, just on our own. And let's hope it doesn't end up not being enough stock, I guess. Cross fingers. That's what we look like. Here we are after the market, because guess who forgot to film an after of the table again? It's me, as usual, because I never remember. This market went really well. I'm really happy with it. So let's tell you how I did. Right, hang on. Square. So yeah, this was an interesting market. I had a good time. I'm glad that I've booked Summerfest with the same people in the same location. It's the CJ's Events Warwickshire team. They're incredible. I love them so much. It's so smoothly organised, this market. Everything is there and set up and ready when you get there, so you literally just need to set your table up because you're given the market stall. The market stall is ready for you. It has a gazebo on it. You're all good. The only thing you have to bring is chairs, as far as like physical furniture goes. The team are lovely. They're so smooth. They're so responsive. if you live in the Coventry, North Warwickshire area, definitely trade with CJ's. Yeah, they are just fantastic. So, not sponsored, but obviously sponsored by the fact that they let me earn money at their events. So this market started at, interesting, I've scrolled too far. There we go. This market started at 10, it ran until 5. So at 10:21, I sold quite a big order. And this was actually my first interesting story of the day. These people came along, they had backpacks full of orangutans, plushy orangutans, I must say, and then one of them had a crab. I've got their business cards in my pocket. There we go. Banjo and Mandy Hootson, and they are at Banjo Hootson and at Mandy Hootson on Instagram, or they have a Banjo Hootson website. And then Crispin's Jellycat Adventures was the other one, who has Crispin the crab, Olaf the orangutan, Mowgli the monkey, Shimmer the bunny, Lavender and Rosetta the dragons, and many more, apparently. So here's their cards. Let's get it to focus. Can I get it to cover my face up? I don't know if that's focused, but that is Crispin. And then this is Banjo and Mandy and their Instagram information. So that was fun to meet them, and they bought my very floppy dragon, was rescued by one of them, and then they got a possum each as well, which was very fun, and that was lovely. So they spent £28 with me at 10:21. Lovely people. I will be reposting them on my Instagram when they post the photos of their plushies with my plushies, because yeah, that was cool. They had a whole little photo shoot at the table. It was adorable. Then 7 minutes later at 10:28, I sold one of my clearance items, and I don't know which one, for £8. Then at 11:44, so at this point, this was a really stop and start market. We'd have a flow of like 4 or 5 orders in a row, and then nothing, and then 4 or 5 orders in a row, and then nothing. So there'll be a lot of like big gaps, and then lots of purchases, and then big gaps. But anyway, so yeah, it took an hour and 15 to get the next people coming by the table. At this point, I was like a little bit worried, because I was next to what I will lovingly call a tat stand. But they sold all of like the kids stuff, like the bin badges and the croc charms and the little plastic bracelets and the blind boxes and all of that. I love a good tat stand, objectively. Like, that's why I say I call them that out of love, because it is like plastic tat, but it's cute plastic tat, and I love browsing them as well. The lady there was lovely. We made lovely friends with her dog. Her fellow was nice as well, so loved them to pieces. That's great, but it was a tat stand, so I was like, crap, they are going to steal like all of my customers, basically, because the kids were seeing them first, because at the end of our row was all of the kids' rides. So that we had a slide and some trampolines and a hooker duck stand and all of that stuff right at the end of the row. And then as they were coming down the row, they were hitting her stall first before mine, and we were like literally next to each other. I was like, bugger, because her stall was full of people looking all day. Like, there was never a moment where I looked over and there was less than 4 people stood at her stall. So little anxiety brain was like, I'm not going to do great at this market. The table cost so much. Oh my god, this was a failure. Why did I do this? But it was fine. It was fine in the end. I don't know why I get myself into those spirals. I had a good time. She had a great time. We were good. It was fine. We had like kids' paradise between our 2 stalls. It was fantastic. Yes, their dog Chase was very cute. So where did I get to anyway? 11:44. 2 kids came along with their parents, and They just couldn't pick what they wanted, either of them. The girl was going back and forth between, I think she was going back and forth between like the bat and the frog, or the bat and the cat, or some combination of the three. And then the boy was going back and forth between a fish and a cat. Yeah, I think the girl was between the bat and the frog, and the boy was between the fish and the cat. And in the end, the mum just let them both have both of the things that they wanted. So they bought a bat, a frog, a cat, and that was my brown cat, and a fish that was a blue dappled fish, and it was a dark green frog. I can't remember which bat it was. I think it was the purple one. So that was a total of £28. No, £22. At this point, I'm starting to relax a little bit because I'm nearly at my table. I was like £12 off making my table. So I was, no, £22 off making my table with like 5 hours left to go. So I was like, right, I will probably at least make my table. We're okay. We can calm down a little bit. I can't say it's going to be a massive success, but it'll be fine. Then 5 minutes later, someone came and bought a rock golem off me for £6. Yet again, the rock golems have done great. I need to order some more green and grey. I do need to order brown as well. So once all of my money's come in and I've had the alternative market, and like we're at the point where, because I've got a 6-week break then between markets from the 18th of April up until the 6th of June. So once we've hit that 6-week break where I can just cram all of my Pride stuff that I need to make, then I'm going to place a little teeny yarn order, just to make up for that situation. Yeah, rock golem at 11:50. Then at 11:59, someone came along and bought one of my popping birds. I believe this was the mallard, because we had a chat about how like clicky fidgets just aren't it. They're not nice. I don't like the clickies. Why does everything click? So I was like, I make these because tism and no clicky, and she was like, oh, tism and no clicky. So she bought the mallard because she was happy that it was like cute and it satisfied her needs, and that she liked that I made something because I spotted a gap. So that was cool. And then literally a minute later at 12 o'clock, I sold an octo. It was my last blue octo. Boy came running over, was like, I want the blue octopus. And then his mum was like, do you really want the blue octopus? And he was like, I want the blue octopus. So he got the blue octopus. So that was £4. 6 minutes later, 12:06, I sold my pumpkin bear. The girl who bought her bless was so sweet. She was like pointing and was like, I like that. And I was like, do you want to look closer at it? And she was like, yes please. So I'd hold it up, but she was like almost afraid of touching, and I was like, you can hold it, you can grab it if you want, that's fine. I was putting her payment through on my phone. She was like, can I was like, yeah, you're buying it, of course you can take it off the table. But yeah, it was so sweet. So she paid £12 for the pumpkin bear, and then 12:13, so 7 minutes later, I sold my only Demogorgon of the day. It was the pink Demogorgon, so I'm now back to natural coloured Demogorgons. I've got the 2 tan ones left, and then I'm partway through making some grey ones to replenish the stock with, because I think the alt market is probably the right place for them. So yeah, little girl came running over. I want the pink Demogorgon, it's adorable. Her mum was like, are you sure you want the Demogorgon? What the hell? And she was like, no, I want the Demogorgon. So she got the Demogorgon. Fair enough. It can be cute if you want it to be cute. I think these little guys are cute. I mean, he's not got his teeth on yet, so that might be why he's cuter, but yeah, kids are weird. I love kids. They're so odd. But yeah, what was I going to say? The amount of children I have had come up to my stall and go, oh my god, a Demogorgon, and I'm like, you shouldn't know what that is. Stranger Things, it's like a 12 or a 15, and you are definitely like 9. Why do you know what a Demogorgon is? let alone know what one is enough to like want a plushie of it. And then like the parents would be like, I don't know where you know that from. And I'm like, you should know where you know that from. Hang on. All of the interruptions today. Right, so where do we get to? Someone bought a baby Demogorgon at 12:13. Then at 12:17, another person bought a rock golem. So those rock golems have been going so well, like shockingly well. And like a minute later, so this lady had looked at so many things on my stall. She'd looked at the hoodie bears. She looked at, there's one of my big items, but I can't remember which one. Might have been my turtle. She looked at a few bits anyway, and then she picked up the wizard cat and she gave him a big squeeze and she went, this is the one. I'm having this one. And she didn't even look at the price. She just handed him straight to me and was like, I want this one. I was like, God, okay. That's £27. Okay. She went, yeah. So I gave him one little hug before he went, popped him in a bag, and she paid £27 for him, which is very nice. I'm definitely going to put the price up next time I make him though, because he did take me a good bit of work to make. Then after that we had another one of our breaks. That was like nearly 50 minutes where we just didn't have anything. Then someone bought a frog mush pop, which is the first time this year that I've sold a frog mush pop. They paid £6 for him. Then 15 minutes later, someone bought 2 of my cappies. I think that was my 2 brown cappies. So I'm once again out of brown cappies. I think for the alt market, I'm going to make one of my big ones. Don't know if I'll make tiny ones again. I'm still like debating whether or not I want to phase out tiny things on my table entirely, or whether to just keep a few but tone it down a bit. I'm working out. We'll find out like basically what I end up making between April and June, and that will decide what my tactic is for the rest of the year. Then 5 minutes later, someone else bought a rock golem. I don't know why they've hit it off, but here we are. 3 minutes after that, someone bought a black dappled fish and the blue capybara. This was the lady with a double buggy. She held the blue capybara up to the kid who was in the top of the buggy. And he was like, no. So she was like, that's that decision made. I'll just grab a fish for the other one. So yeah, fair enough, that works. Then we had another break of about 40 minutes. So at 2:15, someone bought my black dappled octopus for £4. 10 minutes after that, someone else bought the pink capybara that I had on my table. So that was all of my cappies then gone at 2:20. At 23 minutes past 2, my partner put this through for me because I was checking out the person who was buying the capybara. So my partner put the ladybug through in cash for me. That was 2:23. £6 for the ladybug, which I'm glad that one of my ladybugs has finally gone because I really love making them, but I've got 3 on the table and until now they've not shifted. So yeah. Then a minute later, someone else bought something from the clearance for £2. I didn't tag what these were, so I'm sorry, but I'm not sure. I can't remember. My brain's not with me. 15 minutes after that, someone spent £6 for a chick mushy pop. Then another 15 minutes, someone bought a fish. And at this point, it's slowing down a bit, so we're still getting a decent amount of orders, but there's not. It's not as like long gap burst. It's more just like sprinkled through the time quite evenly from now on. So yeah, what did I get to? In a row, someone bought a fish at 3:05, and then someone bought a fish at 3:25, and that was a black dappled fish and a pink dappled fish. Then at 3:25, someone came along and was like, oh my god, and their friends were like, I'm holding you, what? And they'd seen the hippo, and they absolutely love hippos, so they'd picked it up and they were like, can I have him? And I was like, yes, of course you can. And just because you are so excited and I love that for you, you can also have one of my like £2 items if you would like, because Your excitement made me really happy. And she was like, oh my god, that's so exciting. So she chose one of my little ghosty badges as her freebie. And then 3 minutes after that, someone did a mystery keychain and they got the black whale out of that. 2 minutes later, someone bought my last little mini squidgy brown bear. That was at 3:30. Then, oh no, I was lying. There was a big break after that. There was a 50-minute break until 4:20 when some friends came along. Some of my personal friends, not family friends, came along, and I said to them, look, do you want something out of the clearance bin? Because it's all stuff that I've been trying to get rid of for like literally ages. You can have something out of the clearance bin. And they were like, cool. So they picked up a couple of my pills, and I think it might have been a duck or a chicken. I think it was a chicken. A couple of pills and a chicken out of my clearance bin. So 10 minutes after that, someone came along and bought my Perry the Platypus. So that was at 4:30. They bought the Perry the Platypus for £15. This guy, he picked it up and then he said something. I didn't quite hear what he said, but I could tell he was speaking a different language. So I said, I'm really sorry, I don't mean to be weird. What did you just call the platypus? And I can't remember what it is now off the top of my head, but he told me what the Turkish is for Perry the Platypus, and that was really cool, because earlier in the day a group of German girls had come over and had pointed out Perry the Platypus and had said it in German as well, so I got to learn so much new language for like how to say Perry the Platypus today, and that was really nice. And he seemed happy that we were excited to learn the language. That was really cool. So then a minute later, someone bought my Grumpy Frog, and that was again a dark green frog. So I've had 2 sales of dark green frogs today and no light green frogs, which is interesting because usually it's the light green frogs that go really quickly and not the dark green. Food for thought. But yeah, that was £6. Then also at 4:30, I sold a trans rights sticker pack. And then 20 minutes later, so just before the market ended, I sold 1 rock golem, and that was just enough to tip me over my goal. My goal was to make enough that I covered basically all of the materials that I bought this year so far, which was £255 that I needed to make to cover. So that's all of my yarn that I bought covered, that's all of the stuffing and the eyes and any extra tools I bought. So my new tagging gun, that's covered food and travel for today. A few other bits of various assorted stuff that I've bought. All of that is now covered today, which means that for April, my next market, my insurance for the month is also included in that. My next market, as long as I make over £45, which is the amount that the table cost, then everything after that is pure profit, which is really exciting because that means that I'll be able to buy more yarn. Ha 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 ha. No, I'm going to use what's on my shelf up as much as I can first, but there are a few key colours that I need to top up, like the colours for the rock golems and some more baby pink, because I forgot how many pride flags that baby pink is in, and a few other bits. So they need replenishing because I didn't buy enough when I did my big yarn order. Some orange as well to replace the pumpkin bear. So I'm going to place an order for all of the colours that I need extra of after my next market, because I have enough stock for the next market that it's not massively urgent. Also brown for capybaras, things like that. So it's a needed yarn order, but I am also going to try and work through what's on my shelf as much as I can, because I'm responsible like that. But yeah, that is everything that happened today. I actually can tell you how many transactions I had without having to do stats, because I've only got my sales on here. So I had 85% of transactions were in card and 15% of transactions were in cash. I don't know how many transactions I had in total. 30 apparently. So what does that work out as? Is 5%. So somehow I've got 4.5 transactions in cash and the rest in card, which doesn't add up. So I'm assuming I had 5 transactions in cash and the rest in card. Let's have a look. Let's do counting, because that always goes better for me. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 transactions in cash. 2 that were counted as cash but were actually just 3 transactions, so I have to put them through as cash because you can't put a 0 transaction through on a card. And then 21 were card. I clearly can't do maths today because that should have been easy enough to do in my head, but here we are. Yeah, that is the roundup. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you got this far, please comment if you have been to the Easterfest or to any CJ's events before, or if you just want to congratulate me on a great market, I guess. Also, can you tell I'm tanned? Do I look tanned? I know, okay, like for any more brown people than me normally, I'm white as shit, I'm aware of that, but for me, I don't look like a ghost. There is some colour in my skin. I'm so happy. I always feel better when I'm tanned. I just feel more me, because I was always tanned as a kid. Like most of the time I had a tan, and then I stopped going outside because COVID happened, and then my mental health went inside is better actually. And then I got really pale. So whenever I get a chance to get a tan, I'm happy about it. I'm asking if I'm tanned. I can tell I'm tanned because I've got a white birthmark on the back of my hand and I can see it. It's not picking up on the camera, but that's it's for me. It's okay. If you've been on holiday anywhere, let me know in the comments. I'm really sorry I went off on a complete tangent there. Like the video if you liked it. Share it if you want to share it. Even just copying the link into an email and sending that email to yourself helps me, believe it or not. Share, like, comment. If you want to buy any of the leftover stock I've got, my Ko-fi store will be linked in the description. If you have any recommendations for other events in the Coventry, North Warwickshire, South Birmingham region, let me know. Yeah. Hype the video if you can hype it. Follow me on socials if you want to see more from me, because I update my Instagram pretty regularly. I'm trying to get back onto TikTok, but short form video content is proving quite hard this year for some reason. If you want to see all of my angry ranting, on Threads. I do get angry on there. The world's not nice to be a trans person at the moment. But yeah, if you want to witness that, then it's over there. I don't think I've got anything left to say. So thank you again if you did get this far, and have a nice day.